It was a rainy day. Zombies knocked on the door. One of them said, "Open up." "It's me, Jong Hyun." The girls hid under a chair. And the guys tried to close the door behind them. One of the girls asked to let this zombie in because he is their classmate. "How can they leave him?" she said. The guys assured the girl that most likely he had already been bitten and there were a lot of zombies. It's crazy to miss them. The girl assured that she would be responsible for him, that she was the head of the class and she never leaves Odnoklasniki in trouble. One of the guys who was holding the door said to the guy, "Yi bin, about 3, I will open the door, and as soon as Jong Hyun comes in, close it." "Well," answered the guy. As soon as they opened the door, the zombies flew on. Ebayer. Turns out he was a zombie. Jong Hyun bit the boy's hand. In a moment the guy saw some footage in his head. In them he was without a hand. "I saw the city burning and just like an unknown person asked him, what you want to do with it. There are only 2 things that I want. This revenge," answered the guy. He was tied to some mechanism. The guy came to his senses. It turned out it was a vision. The headman kept repeating to open the door. But hey! Knew what would happen next. Therefore, he suggested that she open this door herself, because he does not want to suffer. She just started to dodge the answer and say, "Which of us is a man? I'm a girl, aren't you ashamed?" People like her are not very good, they only talk pompously, they always leave the work to others, and are ready to take all the glory for themselves. She nevertheless agreed and went to open this door. Only when she pulled the door handle, the zombie had already burst into the room. Everyone started running in a panic, and the head girl pushed her classmate to protect herself, but at the same moment, Yi Bei pushed her with his foot towards the zombie. He grabbed her by the waist and was about to bite her head. But the boy managed to hit him on the head and break it. The girl asked for help, but she oppressed the guy for half her life, and now it's her turn. The guy closed the door and yelled at his friends to barricade the door. Yi Bei asked his classmates if they were afraid of him, to which everyone replied no, because he helped them a lot. If not for him, they would most likely all die. The guy asked to open the door. He wanted to go outside and look around. Yes, it seems to him that it was really mean of him to expel the headman. He wants to go out to see if she's alive. And in Odnoklasniki, after he left, they closed the door. They just said he was too dangerous. No one knows who he will kick out next. But the guy was just waiting for this. Yi Bei saw the zombie, smiled sarcastically and ran towards him to kill him. Zombie had a green pearl in his head. It was energetic black gold. This is the source of doomsday. And an indispensable item for mechanics. Another zombie approached him from the side. He took his weapon, he rushed to him and again broke his head. Classmates who looked from the window were at a loss. His character has really changed. Until recently, he was a timid and inconspicuous guy. Yi Bei broke the window. "I asked my classmates, are they going to sit here like this? Or go to kill zombies with him, also more fun." Behind him, another zombie approached him with his foot. He pushed him away and with his weapon, he hit him on the head. He pretended that it was all disgusting to him. Dark liquid, but what is not? It is infected, the question was asked. He initially wanted to go with them. Well, considering that he could mutate, he would part with them. They intend to harm them. Judgment Day. This is the beginning of the end of mankind. Zombie virus covers the whole world, infected 50% of the population and caused complete economic and political collapse. The number of zombies grew every day. People living in fear and despair fought each other for living space and food, in endless anarchy. Professor Jong Han, an expert on zombies, called this time a gloomy era. Because of the headman, the zombie bit Yibong on the arm. She had to be amputated. After that, he wandered for 50 years and endured violence. He met a mechanic. With his last strength before his death, he sent him back in time. At what point? How it all started. That is, here. People wondered how he could walk down the street with a smile. He was approached by 3 zombies whom he also killed. A few more zombies ran after him because he made a noise. He saw the cell and asked to be let inside. People who saw him kill zombies immediately let the guy in, and the last moment, when the zombies were already nearby, he flew inside. The guy saw that the girl was sitting at the counter and asked her to get out of there and give him the remote control from the door. She kept sitting there. Then he used a trick and started screaming that it hurt him. His wound opened. The girl in a panic ran to him with a first aid kit, but he grabbed her hand and took the remote control from her. In the real timeline, when a guy lost his arm, this girl helped him bandage her. He thanked her for the meaning of his life. It's very dangerous outside and Daddy told her to sit in the store. There were screams from below. This girl opened the door by some guy. They said that they were very hungry. They came for groceries. Then she was abused and killed. The guy could only sit around the corner and hide. But now he must repay her and save her. And first, he wants her to realize that there is darkness under the sun, even if because of this she will think that he is a bad person. The next thing the guy will do is search and weapons. Since they are in the food store here is full. The guy was very happy that again in his old body the young skin is amazing. No back pain, no more leg pain, it's good to be young. That's just the trouble with the press. It will be necessary to work on it. The leader of the gang decided that they should not sit in a karaoke bar for a long time. Therefore, they must create another base of survival to save themselves from future hardships. First of all, they will kill all the zombies, then they will take over the food shop. Besides, a cute girl lives in this shop. If his memory serves him, she is the only one left, with the exception of the schoolboy who recently ran there. Yibing yelled at the girl because she let him in and he could do anything to her. He doesn't need such a fool. Well, he'll be bored, there's no one to even take care of him. From now on, she will do whatever he says. And if I obey him, he will kill her. The bandits who wanted to enter the store came across a lot of zombies, and suffered significant losses. And they decided to retreat. The girl made noodles for the guy. He was shocked by the taste of the noodles as he had not eaten them for many years and for him she was already a delicacy. A stone flew into the window and the bandit climbed up the window and asked the guy to help him. He, in turn, came up and poured boiling water on his hand. The girl grabbed him by the hand and told him to stop doing this. Thank you. Good afternoon. Svarli. You won't be allowed to enter. Besides, you don't even know him. Her dad said you can't hurt people. The bandit began to make excuses that he was just hungry. Desperation decided to look for food for himself and was surrounded by zombies. The way out was to get in here. I should have pushed him back into the crowd while I had a chance. The guy does not want to kill the bandit in front of the girl. When the bandit climbed into the room, he said that this place now belongs to him and everyone who dares to try himself will die. Break through the door. We can't hold them back anymore. If it wasn't for his dumb idea to go out, we might have been here for a few more months. Where could the Skalopendra have gone after we were surrounded? I think on the roof of that store. Well, to hell with him. I hope he dies there. Seems to be more and more. The door won't hold. The guys forced the girls to help with the door. They hoped to spend time with them while the centipede was gone. It remains to have time to run to the balcony and jump off before they block the door. The bandit asked the girl if she really believed that he came to her out of good intentions. Instead of killing her, everyone passionately love each other. Be my slave. Guy suggested. He turned his gaze to the boy. You brat, how dare you scald me with boiling water? It will be too easy to feed you zombie. I need time, figure out a way, I will kill you. The girl suggested that they all go downstairs together and eat deliciously instead of all these problems, her family store food. The bandit was furious and rushed at the girl at the same time. Ben managed to react and cut off several fingers of the bandit, and with the next attack he wanted to strike him with a crushing blow, with a knife in the throat, but the bandit managed to react and block his blow. And he pushed him. Thus, he broke his rib. Before I kill you I want to know, how did you deal with the zombies so easily? We lost a hell of a lot of people and only managed to kill a few zombies. The guy answered him that if he wants to know the answer, he needs to respectfully address him and maybe then he will tell him his secret. It was such impudence that the bandit began to kick him and went berserk, trying to teach this little girl a lesson, but it's worth it. After several strong kicks to the chest and face. From behind, the girl swung a knife at the guy's body. Bandit pushed her away and took out a knife from his body. Yibong took advantage of this moment and hit the bandit on the head with all his strength, and after that, he fell unconscious. The girl passed what she had to do, reassured her boyfriend. Stop whining, said the guy, and quickly roll out of here. Seeing that the bandit is still alive, she offered to help him. But the guy quickly pushed her out the door and said that he had not yet met dementia of people. He took the guy's section and pushed him out of the window, and after he fell hit his head, he woke up and saw that he was surrounded by zombies and began to eat. If Yibing had a better knife, he would have cut off his arms and legs before throwing him off. He saw the last of the bandits hanging from the pillar. The bandit said that someone from them loosened his grip, so the zombies broke into the building, and they ate everyone. He was the last one left. Yibing told the boy that if he wants to live, he needs to run. He did just that. Oh, it's a pity the zombies didn't gobble up all that dregs. Don't make me any more trouble. After all that happened, the girl was sitting outside the door. The guy asked her why she hasn't taken a shower yet and is sitting here. Seeing that the blood leads to the window, she asked why he killed him, even if he's bad. She still had a chance to be kind. The guy got mad. Have you ever read the fable of the viper farmer? He is a bad person. You will save him, and he will stab you in the back to survive. We must kill such people, they will kill us. Don't you understand this? It's the end of the world apocalypse. It's pointless to talk to you, pointless. I'm going to take another shower. The girl ran after him, suddenly lost consciousness. The guy took her to the room, put her on the bed, but did not find any signs of wounds on her. Turned out she had a fever. While the guy was looking for a first aid kit, he found a diary in which it was written, "Today I had chemotherapy, it was not painful at all, I was even able to play with my friends after that. The doctor told me that thanks to the help of many kind people, I managed to get treatment. So in the future, I want to be just as kind." The girl was sick with leukemia. She really, for that fucking reason, she wanted to save that bastard no matter what, but this world that was kind to her doesn't exist anymore. The guy decided to use green balls. He didn't know if it would help, but it was worth a try. The next day, he woke up to hear the girl open the door, and ordered her to make a good breakfast, instant noodles, and add ham to it, and also that she prepare her things, because they are going to look for her father. "Let's go look for Daddy?" asked the girl. Didn't the girl say that her father went to look for supplies, didn't she? The store doesn't seem so safe to him, so he would like to find her father as soon as possible and leave her with him. As it turned out, her father left 3 days ago. Usually he replenishes supplies in half a day, so the guy decided that if he didn't come back after that time, what little would happen to him. The girl told the guy that nothing could happen to her father. He's definitely safe. Yi Ben was furious because she wanted to help some bandit, about her own father does not want to go help, who could fall into a trap or be surrounded by zombies. Having yelled at the girl, she quickly ran to collect things. On the road, a military vehicle drove down and hit several zombies. While the guy was gathering supplies, the girl managed to get dressed and collect things. "Well, I got dressed, we are not going to a picnic." While the guy was eating his favorite noodles, he thought about waiting for the sun to rise at its zenith. When this happens, he will kill all the zombies that have surrounded the door. I remember that there are a lot of cars on the road now in good condition. You need to find someone who can ride. At the end of the day, he will pick up the girl. When a guy asked a girl for sharp sticks. At the same moment, a military vehicle drove into the building and a fat man got out of it. The fat man wanted to take all the food that is in the store. After seeing his favorite chips, he began to collect them in a bag. Yibing came up behind him with a knife and held it to his throat. The guy threatened the fat man that such a pig like him, because he doesn't want to go to feed the zombies, he doesn't mind. The fat man threw chips at Ben's and ran into his car. While he was trying to start the car, Yibing managed to run over to him. Already swung a knife at his throat. But the girl screamed at him to stop killing people. After all, this is her store, and if he suffered because of it, then he still needs to pay compensation for the damage. Yibin told the guy that he had a good car, and that it now belongs to them. This is his payment for the store. They also lack a driver. You load the luggage into the car. Seeing that the zombies were approaching them, they all got into the car together and rushed off, crushing the zombies. The fat man was a very bad driver, and Yi Ben warned him that he would kill him for such a ride. Yi Ben asked the girl where her father could be. She replied that her father wanted to go to the Eastern Market. When they called him, he was there. Tustak warned them that the market was always very crowded, and most likely there were also many zombies. Yibong decided to go there. The fat man was bored all the way, so he asked if the guys would mind if he turned on the music. Yibong was against it. Then the Tovstyak began to sing himself, because he was bored. This went on for some time. Yibong asked if he could shut up and let him sleep. The fat man answered him. "Well, you yourself forbade me to turn on the music, and he is bored on the road, so he had to entertain himself. But don't worry, this machine is very durable, zombies are like insects to us. The guy shouted at him that he wants him to stop. Is it really incomprehensible? Fat man main machine. Run out of petrol. They had already arrived halfway. Now I just thought, who am I? The fat man completely forgot, even to complete regret there is not a single gas station nearby. The guy yelled at him, get your fat ass out of the car. You will distract all the zombies on yourself. Out then, let me eat, at least I'll die full. The fat man answered. You saw zombie back to back approaching the window. As it turned out, they were already surrounded by zombies. If they surround us, at this rate they will die here. Yibong saw the knife in the car. He got his husband out of the car and began to cut the zombies. Previously, it was very glad that she had the opportunity to kill zombies with good weapons. A fat zombie approached him from behind. Such a fat zombie is usually not killed with a knife. Two more approached from the right side and zombies, he pushed the second, cut his head. It's just that the fat man was shocked by the niche that killed zombies right and left. It was very cool for him. Ben got into the car and told the guy to cut out of it, sooner or later he will die if he sits in the car, so let him do what boy says. While they were driving, there were many cars on the side of the road. If you're lucky, maybe there is some fuel left. He will clear the way for him and will cover from the zombies, and he will drain the gasoline. You stays in the car. The fat man asked for time to mentally prepare. Yeben told him that he only needed bottles and everything he had soda in. The fat man remembered that the car had a spare fuel tank. Yibong looked at the fat man furiously. He asked him not to be angry because he forgot about it, and for shock, there was no need to scare him. He asked him to wait a minute. Then he would be ready. The guy asked him to forget, then he better do something, then refuel. He wanted fat man to collect something for him. He was referring to the green beads that were in the brains of the zombies. He needed him to help him extract them all. This is how the guy showed up. The fat man did not really want to do this dirty work. Well, the boy threatened him that if he did not help, then he should kill someone. Yibong kills zombies and he finishes them off. If he sees that he is shirking, he will kill him too. Despite the fact that the guy is fat, the zombie will easily bite through the guy. Went up to zombie and he started to check it with a shovel. He praised the guy who made such an accurate cut. Impressive. Broke zombie, he took out a pearl from him. Who would have thought that the human brain has such black beads? Like pearls in a shell. The fat man decided to keep one for himself because he thought it was worth a lot of money. Yibing killed all the zombies around, and the rest he did not want to distract far away. He's already used to his past body, but it's not too slow enough. He finished his work. He approached the fat man who had already collected several dozen pieces of pearls. The guy asked them to wash and put somewhere. Entering the car, he saw how the girl was lying unconscious, so she had a fever. This time it turned out to be much worse. Having inherited the girl's handbag for water and medicine, he gave it to her. The fat man came up behind him and asked him and his sister a heat stroke. He answered him in a rude manner that let him mind his own business, and fill the tank and get into the car. The fat man's phenol ban is in all this because he lied about running out of fuel. He only delayed them. If anything happened to her, he promised that he would kill him. The fat man asked who he was and that he was good with a machete and what his name was. If you want to get to know someone, yes, I'm here. First you need to introduce yourself. The boy answered. The fat man's name is Zhao Han, the manager of the local car repair shop. Everyone in the city became infected. He was overwhelmed with zombies. He had no choice but to save his own skin. This car was left in the workshop by his friend, but he did not return. Now the car belongs to him. Yi Ben also introduced himself. Zhao Khan pressed the brakes sharply, because there was fire on the road. The way to the market was blocked. The girl finally woke up. The guy showed her the view from the window where it was clear that the road to the market was blocked. She might not be able to get to her father. Zhao Han suggested that they take a detour, which would take a little longer. The guy also agreed with this, but suggested that he find better equipment on the way there. The guy asked the fat man if he knows Mason, where there is an electrical product or a weapons store nearby. He answered he knows where, and they went there. In the south of the city there is an old man who owns blacksmiths. He has been in this business for more than 10 years, so he has the highest experience. He almost never comes out. Now the zombie virus has broken out. I don't know if he stayed there. As the saying goes, a monk cannot escape from the temple. And besides, he has a lot of useful things there. He couldn't leave them all. One of the weapons he created is the machete that the kid is holding. Yibong thought that when he collected enough pearls, he could create a weapon because you would use it. If, of course, there is suitable equipment in the blacksmith. I came to the forge, they all went out together, even the girl wanted to help the guys. The guy was against it because he didn't want to run after her and help if she is grabbed. That's all. If he bites her, immediately slaughter. The fat man offered the girl to help him collect pearls. She happily agreed. They were watched by a man from the window of the house. A man whom he immediately shot ran into his room. The other, who was sitting there, did not knock on the door. Said that he knows one of the guys who came to the forge because he killed a lot of zombies alone. Rewards for such information. The boss gave the kids food and told him to tell the others that whoever gets even with Eben will receive a big reward. Finished with the zombies, Yobeng went to the forge. Opening the doors, he saw that there was no one inside, but the furnace was already heated, which meant that the blacksmith had left or had recently been devoured shortly before his arrival. There was no one around the house. The kid told the fat man to give him all the pearls and let him look outside for all sorts of scrap metal and sheets of iron. The kid decided to forge a new weapon since the one they have now next week will be useless. My first forging mechanic. Having poured all the pearls here, he began to melt them. Dissolve from temperature, amazing effect. Yibong cut his hand and poured his blood into the bowl. I poured this slurry on a forged sword. Like seasoning. This boy cuts zombies like watermelons. Why did Luo order us to bring his head? But if we deal with him, then we will get a lot of supplies, answered the other. And it will also be possible to spend a sweet night with this baby, answered the third. Must be the reason why Bro Lo gives this boy such importance. To this, all the zombies in the district have already been killed, which is a field matter. Let's wait for the night and attack. The texture of the sword was like lightning. What a time to see what a mechanic is capable of. The boy said. The girl had already cooked dinner and split the food, but one of the guys came up to her from behind and covered her mouth. Having created a weapon similar to a sword, he charged it with electricity. Second stage forged sword. Ready. They heard their sister screaming. And they saw 4 guys standing in front of them. They warned the boy that if he did not lay down his arms, they would kill the girl. But Yibing used his new weapon that could strike from a distance, and killed 2 of them. One of them began to whine about how it was all his fault. He had to follow the plan, pounce on the first girl he met, as soon as he saw her. Then do not let her go, otherwise no one will be saved. Zombies came up behind Yibong and with a few blows Yibong killed them all. While Yibing dealt with the zombies, Zhonghan went after the guys who stole the girl. They quickly boarded a bus through which they entered the building. 2 of the guys who were sitting on the bus ran to the fat man, saw that he was the only one. They quickly rushed at him with weapons. Well, a beam from the sword flew from behind and killed one of them and also destroyed the bus, cutting it into pieces. Don't stand like a pillar, let's go save her. Follow me. The guy ordered. One by one, the people who tried to kill him themselves died at his hands. No one managed to kill him. But here comes the boss. Started by what he saw, everything he did, this natural disaster. There is such a powerful man, the boss is really amazed. Suggested that he go upstairs and have a drink with him. He is very sincere with people, with talents like him. If he needs something, he just needs to say it. He will take care to satisfy his request. Luo held a girl in a chair as a hostage and he pointed the barrel at her. He said they were kind and respectful. Do not undermine their good intentions. He knows the power of his weapons. Wouldn't be surprised if it could wipe them all out. Yeben offered to gather all of his people and let him arrange them to climb up to him since he was working on a big project, and was worried that there would be no one to help him. The boss agreed with this. And the fat man ran away in fear because he didn't want to get into this meat grinder. The boy was taken away to the bar where all the people were sitting. The boss greeted the kid. All his people and strong guys gathered here within a radius of 15 kilometers. He is their leader, Luo Xiong. Yibing remembered him, so he asked if he remembered how this zombie disaster happened. The guy began his story that the boss was well aware of the spread of the virus and began to stock up on supplies in advance. And now he must make plans to form a band of shadow dragons. Boss Woody was twisted because he told this only to some people and he could not know it in any way. He became interested in him more and more. Showed him the pearl, which he was also interested in. Well, the spread of the zombie virus from the -3 stage version of the virus appeared as a result of the failure of foreign research on bacteria. Through migratory birds and insects, this virus spread throughout the world. Second biological weapon. There is no better means of warfare than letting the enemy self-destruct, but the situation is out of control. The third is even more absurd, the sudden origin of a meteorite falling to the ground, holding a zombie virus. The meteorite burned up in the atmosphere, crumbled into particles, then penetrated into the human body, thereby making it a carrier of the virus. He must have heard one of these versions before he returned from the city to the countryside to gather his gang. "You're right," boss answered. However, the boss was curious and thought for a long time about how to use these zombie skull pearls. He asked to show the boy his sword or that he did not throw out any tricks. He warned that his girl was behind him. The guy gave his sword without any. This sword is very heavy. The day of judgment came precisely because people got infected with one part of it, and such a black pearl formed in them. These pearls are called energetic black gold, and over time, they accumulate energy in a dead body. Energetic black gold adapts well to flesh and metal, can be used to create powerful weapons. Lo was wondering if you can take off her immortality elixir. Some people tried to do it, but they just turned into zombies. The boy began his experiment. Step 1: Activation. A blast wave passed which turned off all the electricity in the building. The kid grabbed a weapon and killed the boss. Speak the Twilight Dragon Gang's Lo-san and your end has come. When he found out about the ways of using black gold, he forced the Twilight Dragons to help him research and break down various types of weapons from this material. He began to dominate in this area, did not even reckon with the state army. Only the population was within his power, and massacre none of that aside before he succeeds. Yi Ben must destroy them all, not a single one to be missed. He's probably already a butcher, he can't let the girl witness what happened. He wants her to realize the cruelty and ruthlessness of the apocalypse. He wishes she wasn't dragged into it. The fat man is back. The fat man asked the kid, did they do all this for the sake of a gun? He thought that kid was here to save little you. Small arms are extremely rare in the area, and there are already plenty of opportunities to upgrade them. As it turns out, the fat man did not run away, but the kid instructed him to put the pearl in the generator so that it exploded. He did not expect that such a small bead could explode and destroy the whole generator with it. Yi Ben heard some sounds. It turned out to be a girl who hid at the table. She was forcibly brought here every day. Lo used her as a slave and humiliated and tortured her. She asked not to be killed. Ben asked her to take them to his supply depot. The girl came from the western region. She only had a sister, but she disappeared after this whole disaster happened. They came to an elevator that didn't work because the power went out. Yi Ben ordered the fat man to take the girl and find some room, and he will go up the stairs with the girl. One guy came out after all the mess. Remember the words that the pearl can make immortal. He thought he could survive with it and ate it. Yi Ben came to the room where the fat man and the girl were sitting. He said that there were a lot of supplies, so tomorrow they would all pack them together and leave, and the girl who escorted them there somewhere. And have the fat man block the doors on the ground floor so the zombies can't get through. The girl was taking a shower. As it turned out, it was the headman who was able to survive. A guy came to take a shower, who sheltered her to use her body. She started screaming. Then a monster appeared from the wall, very unlike a man. And he killed the guy. The girl befriended the monster because they wanted to take revenge on Yi Bei together. In the supplies of the boxes were a bunch of cigarette noodles and crackers. Let's end here, the guy suggested. Then they saw what happened to the car. Someone crushed it from above. Yi Bei took out his weapon and cut open the top of the car to repair the roof. The fat man asked where they would go next, and the boy replied that to the girl's father. When they were driving, they met the guy's former classmates, who ran away from the zombies. They were screaming for someone to help them. One of my classmates tripped and fell. But then, Yi Bei came and took off several zombie heads with one blow. Well, hello dear odnoklasniki, long time no see. After all that, they left the school. They heard about an island in the middle of the lake where the survivors had set up camps. Now they want to get to it, but the road to it is not easy. Some have been bitten by zombies. They started begging Yi Bei to give them a ride and share food. He refused because there was little gas left in the car. He can share food, only they need to do something. He called the fat man to show them what to do. The fat man showed them that you need to get pearls from the heads of zombies. Yi Bei will kill zombies and let them collect pearls. After that, the whole boy ordered the fat man to give them food. But a monster jumped on top of their car. Anomaly mutation. How could he possibly be here? Yi Ben yelled at everyone to get out of here. The headman appeared behind the monster. Finally. Ordered the monster to kill the boy. The monster rushed at the guy. But another monster on the roof of the building threw a fireball at them. Another anomaly. And yes, it is still fiery. He rushed at the first monster and they started a fight among themselves. Fireball flew at the girl. He hit a tree and she was able to survive. The road parted, so Odnoklasniki retreated further and went to look for a place to hide. The monster asked if the second one could talk and that he replied that she was a girl who was bullied by men and fed her with pearls. She must end everyone. The first monster was sure that the boy even knew about black gold, so he would surely be able to restore them to their former appearance. The guys were able to come to the parking lot. He told no one to make noise. A car flew into them. It was thrown by her monster. The monster, before killing the kid, he wanted to find out about black gold. And this time without his tricks. The boy ordered the fat man to take the girl away. And he holds this creature. Behind where there was an exit, a fire monster approached. Now two mutants wish for death, Ebina. The first monster attacked the boy, and he took out the barrel and started shooting at the headman. After hurting her, the mutant switched to the girl to protect her. Meanwhile, the fire monsters rushed at the boy. Yibing successfully dodged it. Yu threw a hatchet at him, and while he was distracted by her, Yibei hit the pipe with his sword and water poured out on the monster. Then he cut off his hand. Two mutants decided to run away. One of them promised that next time he would get even with him. The guy fell to his knees. He needed to bring himself into the spirit. He did not expect at all that among the two anomalies. Anomalies is a person as a result of the use of black gold. In most cases, those who eat black gold become zombies. And only with a probability of 0.1% can one merge with black gold, and turn into an anomalous person with enormous powers. Besides, such as they retain consciousness, are even rarer. The fat man asked how the guy knew all this, and he, in turn, promised that he would tell everything later, but now you need to figure out where to go. This world is different. The feeling is not lost, the day of judgment is about to come. And before the worst happens, he must make every effort to change something. The car was completely broken and there was no way to help. They are now looking for a place to shelter from the rain, the fat man asked. As it turned out, the girl had already been in this place. Her friend Dad lives nearby. Dad sometimes took her with him. She could play here. Here nearby you need to go straight towards the mountain. He has a big house with high walls, where you can play inside. He also has a lot of computers. They decided to go there. Perhaps her father is sitting there. The headman decided to eat black gold from her injuries. The fire mutant saw how other people were forced to eat black pearls. The consequences were terrible. The mutant and jump her wounds, but the treatment is needed. In fact, if she successfully turns into a mutant and becomes like that, there is no need to be afraid of zombies anymore. There is no need to be afraid of anyone anymore. The lessons that cut off at the lowest cannot regenerate so easily. The guy is still a fighter, he has a capable weapon. They must join forces. Figure out how to deal with it. They will torture him, he will tell the secret of black gold and they will find a way to restore themselves to human form order. The fire mutant's name is Ju Bo, and the first Wang Sheng. The guys decided to swim across the bridge. After the battle with the mutants, Yeben became somehow pale and at one point he lost consciousness. Already adults, the headman asked the boy where his friend the mechanic was. He was tortured to get this information from him. Boy wake up in bed. Next to him was a girl. They were already in the house of a friend and her father. A man entered the room, surprised that the student fat man and the girl who managed to get past the horde of zombies. He wouldn't have believed it if he hadn't seen it with his own eyes. Brother E lost consciousness. They pulled him out of the water, but they did not know what to do. Luckily, Zhong's grandfather spotted them through his CCTV system. He came and took them by car. The old man decided to introduce himself. His name was Zhong Han. The same legendary doctor, who was researching zombies. He researched and gave the name to the energy black gold. For a mechanic, he is like a sent-down sage. And here he is standing right in front of the guy. The old man had an interest in the weapon the guy made, permission to study it. The old man only scanned his weapons and did nothing else with him. This weapon can only be lifted by a guy. He almost broke his back while trying to lift it. The old man's garage had good conditions and equipment to create even more powerful weapons. The old man was delighted that the guy created this weapon and he wanted him to teach him and tell him how he does it. Well, the guy upset him because the creation remains a secret, otherwise he won't catch zombies for research. Bring me something tasty, then he'll think. A girl was watching the cameras. And the old man brought her something to drink. And there was no news from her father. His video surveillance system is only enough for the coastal region, and he is still infested with zombies. The girl is sure that everything is fine with her father. There were doubts about the two guys. That student does not seem like an ordinary person at all, he managed to master such high technology at such a young age. And besides, he has such an evil look, such murderers only exist. And that fat man, of course, looks quite ordinary, I just feel he has a secret. The fat man came up to him from behind and said that it was ugly to discuss other people behind his back. Yes, and you, too, strangely replied that such a higher research institute was a success, and only he is completely alone here. On the roof there is a platform for a helicopter, and on the floor below there is a car parking, fuel tanks, a field of solar panels. And there are also several large catering units, compartments for clothes, here it's just the material of funds, food and everything necessary for life. The old man shouted at him that he didn't know anything. She had a premonition that Judgment Day would come, so he prepared everything in advance. But each of them continues to take him for a fool, crazy. His goal is to save humanity. Yi Ben came up from behind and took blood from a fat man. The first wave of zombie mutation will begin very soon, we don't have much time left. More disasters are coming. They must be ready. Classmates were hiding on the roof of the building, they were surrounded by zombies. One of them offered to eat the black gold because he didn't see any other options, until he helped Yi Ben manage to hide a few pieces in his pocket. He heard one of the trash say that he ate such a thing and managed to turn into a monster. Brother E has been busy with work for several days, he has no idea, he is busy there. Said he wanted to create new equipment to protect mutated zombies. Really all zombies will become like you two monsters and blackthorns and fire, which you have encountered before. You ran into the room and said that she saw her father on one of the cameras. The girl saw her father on the street of the district, so she kept the record just in case. What he walks among the zombies wondered. Looking at his appearance, it looks like he was hung with the remains of a zombie and inflicted blood on himself, so it turns out that he can successfully hide from them. Do zombies attack, rely on their charm? It's definitely worth studying. The old man understands perfectly well that the girl wants to save her father, but the weather, however, is so bad, it rains non-stop. The tunnel going west is now flooded, it will not work to drive through it. They decided to ask. It's in the brother, maybe he has already done some cool equipment there. He hasn't finished yet, and it's not worth rushing this matter, replied Yi Bong. The guy created a few more weapons, sword and pistol. He put the fat man's blood in there so he can use that weapon now. He also noticed a swing, represents strength, weapons. It will be easier and more convenient to use it. This power should be carefully controlled, otherwise it will easily lose its own power. And with a pistol, before deciding to shoot, you first need to turn on the power source to allow energy to accumulate in the bore, then immediately shoot. The energy will shoot along with the bullet. The fat man immediately happily went outside to test the weapon. He decided to go on his own to save the girl's father. The friend in the western region is flooded, you can get around only through the western mountains. There are no cameras, so he needs to be careful. The fat man saw a purple tornado appear in the sky. The rain was getting stronger and stronger. In the west, there was also a tornado. According to the old man's objective opinion, the tornado was at least 6 points, so he told the guy to come back. Even good equipment will not help defeat the Lord of Heaven. A zombie crawled behind the fat man. Brother E asked to bring a live zombie. The old man was very happy. The rain has ended. The light that fell on the zombies, they began to transform, they began to eagerly look for people and kill them. The headman and 2 mutants watched as the zombies moved in a certain direction as if they were fish. They've already found out Yibing's whereabouts. The girl wants to kill him with her own hands, she wants him to feel hopeless. Fat Zhao wanted to go with the girl, but for some reason the alarm went off. The old man warned them that they were in big trouble and that they should return to the lab as soon as possible. According to the cameras installed in the city, a large cluster, a group of zombies. They move all their sides. Approximately 1,000 zombies. Yi Ben wasn't ready to go outside yet. Now he can only rely on them. If that old man is really Dr. Zhong, then he has figured out how to get out of this situation. The fat man got into the car alone and ordered the old man to open the gate. He leaves to detain them, and the doctor let him come up with something. He started firing his cannon at the zombies and was watched by the head girl. They didn't expect to have such a powerful weapon. She wants to see how long they can hold out. The fat man continued to destroy the crowd of zombies one by one. The cartridges were already running out and a fireball flew into his car. He started to fight the monster, trying to hit her with a cannon, but another was already running behind him. He managed to dodge. The headman, driving the zombie, ordered them to attack the fat man. There were too many of them, so the fat man started to run away. But one of the anomalies started throwing zombies in his direction. He destroyed the zombies that flew in his direction with a cannon. One of them hit him on the leg and caught on, but he destroyed the other with a sword. Phew, a little more would be the end, he thought. At the same moment, another crowd of zombies ran towards him. It sucks to shoot from such close range. He risks blowing himself up. Yes, and swinging the sword will not work. And then, out of nowhere, an Iban appeared who saved the guy and began to destroy the zombie pack dirty. The mutants were surprised. Yibong was wearing armor. The old man was delighted with his weapons. After that, they began to destroy zombies together. After this wave, I think we can collect more than 1,000 black gold pearls. Maybe ask Yibong to make him a battle armor too. Josie, the mutant, addressed her. Yiben created a weapon even more powerful than him. He is stronger than we expected. We can't even get close. She believed that if he put iron on himself, he would not be able to protect himself. This eBay fur is also called an exoskeleton. In fact, only it seems that this technology is not quite of our time. It is difficult to imagine that he could assemble a similar one from unnecessary parts. The girl told the old man that her brother's weapons were actually made from pearls taken from zombies' brains. Shred ran if he ordered the girl to monitor the situation, and he goes to the laboratory to open the zombie from which they dragged him. The headman ordered the zombies to attack the guys. They did not notice how a new wave of zombies similar to an earthquake was approaching them. Yibei ordered the fat man to keep killing zombies. They jumped on the boy, and after the headman used her strength, they exploded. Ruosi sat down 7 beads of this black gold and became who she is now. In those days she made a continuous torn. Transformed into such torment. A person with a really strong spirit can endure is not difficult. Notice driven by hatred for eBay. She sat down with 7 to 8 black gold, but not only did she not turn into a monster, she also became stronger than us several times. It turns out that the more hearts of black gold, the better, the mutant asked. I don't know, another answered. By what principle does this happen? Well, I don't want to experience these grandchildren who I had to experience, and she is no longer who she was. She kept blowing up the zombies. He realized that the name of someone was driving. He shot the tower and almost hit the girl. Josie hit him on the fly, but she defended herself. The zombie guy closed the distance in an instant. I almost got her with the next attack. He shot a beam at her. After that he pinned her to the ground. The guy asked the girl how much she ate the pearl. Instead, she tried to use her power, after which the guy pinned her hand with his foot and crushed it. Because of her past life, he lost his arm. Now it's his turn to pay tribute. The mutant ran towards him. Screamed, let her go. He picked up the girl and hit her with this mutant, and with a beam he threw the monster a few meters. The guy was surprised because the girl could only eat pearls and leave her human form. But its existence in itself is dangerous, and the infection must be rooted out immediately. It squeezed it. Also, the zombies have mutated. There were more and more zombies around the research institute. Brother Zhao stood guard at the main gate. Then the zombies began to climb over the walls and penetrate the territory of the institute. Josie only laughed that they would all turn into zombies and become her slaves. Yibong threw it at the zombie and used his 2 arms to create a strong energy beam. Then he ran to the fat man. A new mutated zombie jumped towards him, which he tried to cut, but the weapon failed to do so. Just left a mark. He was surrounded by zombies who began to mutate. These creatures were not taken by the light blade. Alice throws back slightly. Is this what the brother was talking about, the first stage of the mutation? Only the zombies climbed through the wall and entered the Research Institute. Dr. Zhong is busy in the lab. He doesn't know about the situation outside yet. Brother Zhong, we need to get back to the lab as soon as possible. He also thinks, but went around him in a circle and realized, the institute, he cannot get inside. Iban grabbed him. He will move it to a research institute. On it lies the destruction of the zombies that penetrate there. Some zombies have already undergone the first stage of mutation, well, despite the fact that they have the same tougher, and yet you can destroy it by inflicting more blows. However, quicker, zombies, don't underestimate them. The fat man was already tired to death. He finally sat down and rested. Yebing jumped up on the wall and using the beam began to destroy the zombies, while the fat man Saturday. He asked his sister if she could bring water because he was about to die of thirst. As zombies crept up behind at the last moment, he managed to pierce him, well, now a mutated zombie. The fat man started yelling, "How dare you interfere with me, I was taking a breather." With a few blows, he cut off his head. The sister brought water to the guy. A pearl from the head of a red zombie. The old man finally saw the pearl in the head of the zombie and was surprised. This black metal turns people into zombies, I wondered. Or is it a polymer formed after turning into zombies with black metal black gold? How many more secrets are hidden? Yibong destroyed all the zombies in the area. I went to the fat man Zhao and ordered him to go out and start collecting pearls. The fur has not yet been completed. It would have been completed, it would have been even more effective. The remains of the zombie were all burnt. He asked Yibong to create the same battle armor for him. That he replied that he was tired during these few days and wants to sleep first. But then an old man appeared who said that there was no parallel for Eben to tell the secret of black gold. The guy smiled. The fat man began to collect pearls. Wow, I'm tired, there's still a lot to collect. Well, fortunately, on time. Skulls crack more easily. I'm just doing it all alone sadly. So this black gold is really the energy source of the zombies? The old man asked. The guy told him that as soon as a human becomes infected with a zombie virus, such a black pearl is formed. Zombies are able to receive sunlight due to the ability, photosynthesis, so they accumulate the right amount of energy in this black gold. The old man was surprised. Zombies still have an ability similar to photosynthesis. Although pearls emit green light, he cannot detect chlorophyll, inappropriate enzymes in them. But he found some other elements that he had never seen before. These pearls are composed of active metal. He used light illumination and heating, and he can tell what caused them a strong reaction. In addition, they have a strong affinity for blood and metal. Especially as human blood, answered the guy. The zombie virus spreads faster in the human body than in the body of animals or plants, so it is easier for people to turn into zombies, and after that, zombies receive light for a certain time. They begin the first stage of mutation. The old man understood. Before that, he watched on cameras. The zombies behaved very aggressively at night, but during the day they lazily wandered around the streets or even stood still, but in fact it was photosynthesis. Energy for the first stage of mutation. Well, today these zombies forcibly attacked in the light like crazy. It's because they were controlled by Anomalous, guys replied. The man in charge of the zombie horde, he is super anomalous, is his former headman, Lee Joshi. Black gold is also edible as the human body assimilates this metal, the old man wondered, and by eating black gold you can mutate to get superpowers. This is exactly the flight of transformation. This aspect, now you can be sure that all scientists' gold mutation irreversibly anomalous have always been serious threats. We try to destroy them first and as quickly as possible. Those who have eaten black gold become anomalous, and there are also super anomalous. Are too much information, I will need time. The old man answered, to figure it all out. How do you know all this? Asked the guy. The guy replied that of course, he will tell everything only with time when the time comes. He believes that even without this they will be able to study everything, it will be more valuable. The old man asked if he could study his weapon, but the guy answered. He would still use it, you can do whatever you want with it. The fat man collected pearls right up to sunset. I can't take it anymore, how great it would be, he has an automatic tortoise shell. Muscles about how he can control the fur, I built for him, brother, continue. And so that he could wear fur, try his best to lose weight. Behind him sat an anomalist. Was shocked by the fact that you are now zombie was destroyed in a day. She thought that she needed to surrender to them. Well, I realized that they will kill her because she is a monster and will not accept her. By the way, just now these zombies began to vomit red, it looked like a molt. They not only got out of Jose's control, but also attacked her, so he burned them all. If all the zombies start to mutate like this, they will become more and more aggressive and furious. Then what to do? He needs to collect more black gold to sit down a little more so that with her, yes, he can become a man again, and will do. After that he rushed at the fat man to take women from him, but met another she-boy who was Yibong's former classmate. After that, he ran away immediately. He been worked at night. Yu's father returned to the shop but saw that it had already been destroyed. There was a note on the table that said, "Dad, I went to look for you." The fat man saw a new car that Iban made. "Whatever it is, it seems to be assembled from several cars. Looks super cool, I like it." Fat man asked if this machine could transform into mecha. The guy replied that he had reviewed the films. "It's just a car, more. Listen, you will turn the steering wheel, drive the car, not the fur. Machine parts are made of 2,117 pieces of black gold, and 12 pieces of red black gold that are taken out of zombies. The first wave of mutation has a powerful engine. You need to drive it well. The car is not much different from the usual one, it can go on the road." He decided that he should go look for Yu's father. She said she wanted to go too. "No," the guy answered, "the zombies have mutated. After the first wave, if you go out and die, we will not have time to follow you. She must have a hand in finding him," she assured. But the guy was serious. I said, "No, no. What a capricious you are. I'll tell the doctor, he'll show you the lab." The old man used black gold to repair the drone. On the accumulator, he could not fly far, but as soon as he used black gold, the duration of his work increased significantly, and communication stability is maintained. Moreover, he can be attached to a car as a transit station, activate at any time and increase the radius of view. "Now you can stay in the room and watch while helping in the search." "Not bad," said Iban. What a short period of time he was able to learn how to use black gold. "Fat man, we need to move now." They drove out onto the road and started ramming everything. According to previous CCTV footage, Yu was already at the waterfront. They could look for him there. Strange, not a single zombie in sight. Maybe they destroyed them all, the fat man asked the research institute. Well, after these words, mutated zombies rushed to the car. Zombies climbed on the windshield. The fat man asked the guy if there was a weapon installed outside in the car, a conventional weapon. No, the guy answered, "Yes, it is not capable of dealing with these zombies." At us, and now something pressed the button. Electricity passed throughout the car. Since there are already zombies here, it has undergone the first wave of mutation, and there are no survivors in the area. We can just drive through. They were watched by a man from the rooftop. Together with his sister, he looked at the camera. She did not see her father. "It's so quiet here." "Okay, let's launch the drones. You will control it from a height." "Fine." Rooms on the upper floors look like people lived there. Well, now it's empty. She remembers that her father went in this direction. She does not know if he stopped here. "What are we going to do, Brother F?" "If you have nothing to do, go look at the apartments on the outer floors. He wants to sleep. For several days in a row he went to bed late, he wants to rest. Still, he feels more secure in the car. By the way, he can drive a car and honk. Yu's father will hear and show himself to us." Come. While the car was driving, they met more. And he began to need the zombie, and the laser. There was a meat grinder in the car that could collect black pearls. With the help of a drone, the girl found her father's car. She tucked in the image, about 500 m from them. In the car, no one has a window and take part of the car damaged. Father after that, did not even make out the goods, apparently got into trouble on the way back. Let's see if he left any letters. Eben thinks he couldn't have gone far in such a short amount of time anyway. You suddenly became ill. The guys searched the car. But nothing was found in her. The girl lost consciousness. It seems that the disease manifested itself again. When she concentrates heavily on something, they forget to take the medicine. Luckily, the old man kept them here. Poor child, her father's heart was also torn with grief that his daughter was sick. The old man is not an expert in the treatment of leukemia. It will be almost impossible to find the right doctor with this apocalypse. Where is the poor hospital in Alshi? Go there for equipment and medicines. And when you return, the old man will do everything in his power. It seems that after the girl's father crashed, he immediately ran away from here. I didn't even have time to pick it up from the car. The fat man found something strange, such black boxes. The whole car was full, their logos were not described. It looks like sugar, medicine. You shops won't come, don't sell anything like that. We'll take some special pills with us, we'll tell the doctor. It is better to wait for the search for the father. They will all go to the hospital, send him a list of medicines. DAU. Well, the old man needs to continue to look after the girl and monitor the progress of the experiment on black gold. He will not be able to control the drone and introduce aerial surveillance. Well, through it they will still be able to keep the connection, be careful on the way. After 2 years, all supplies in the city will be depleted, filled with zombie city completely select. And in the current situation, the process may accelerate. He could not change anything at all. Instead, he allowed the girls in an even more unhappy world, but at least to live. An unknown man pricked some preparation, and the hand and also his strength returned to the boy and to him. You man was surprised because the monster controls Einem more than thank you for this. What kind of drugs? You smoke from what organization? You are a team. In search of abnormal creatures. Their goal is to create a new world in which their race can live happily. The fat man saw that at the entrance to the hospital there is an inscription: private property is dangerous, do not enter. What the hell is a hospital occupied by people? Nothing surprising, answered the guy, a strategically important object. We'll take what we need and leave. Ben broke the window and they went in together. Strangely, there is no one around, silence, also not visible. Everyone ran away and you hid? Or maybe it's a trap. In any case, they split up. He'll go look for a cure for the kid, he'll go look for equipment. If something happens, one will contact the second. For the fat man, the hospital is the 3 most hated place in his life. The smell of peroxide alone makes him shiver. The smell of fruit seemed to him. The fat man fell unconscious. Yibing recognized the smell. Passing by the girl at the last moment, he noticed her and was already trying to strike her. The girl was amazed by the fur, and if she is not mistaken, it is made from pearls that the zombie extracts. She will be very grateful if he introduces her to the creator of this mecha. She doesn't look like an anomaly. Her name is Tan Tan. Brilliant doctor of medical sciences. The guy asked if she made poisonous gas in the hospital, and if she ate pearls. The poisonous gas was really released by her. It scares away zombies very effectively, and does not allow thieves to enter. Well, she didn't eat pearls. She was the only one left in the hospital. For this girl, death is seductive, the sweets of a confectionery. To die from being, she doesn't mind. This doctor specializes in viral diseases. Yibing asked the girl if she created the gas with the pearls and how she found the pearls in the zombie's socks. But only because of the long time she did not answer her. She asked to be introduced to the mecha maker. The guy told that this institute is located on the other side. If she wants, then he will take her there. She has one small request and he will definitely agree. The fat man had a dream that he and his friends were ambushing the desert. Reception, are you there? Of course they answered. Xiaoqi too? Lao Xiao said that this is our last business. When we finish, we can finally go home. Going to the wedding, they together began to act according to the plan. Waiting for their guests to reach the right place. Lao Xiao will give a signal, let's start acting together. Well, something went wrong and the girl started without a signal. She crashed into a car and there was an explosion. Their biting began. The fat man woke up in bed. The girl explained to him that she was poisoned by a special gas developed by her. If you don't bring antibodies within the next 3 hours, you will turn into the horror of pus. EBay the fat man to help him steal these cans from my car. I wanted to do this, but the girl asked me to help her, and if he breaks at least one, she will put him in them. EBay remembers such a sweetish gas very well. On that judgment day, this gas was often used by the goblins of various gangs. So they scared away the zombies and attacked the enemies. Poisonous gas honey cloud leads a person to a state of rest, at the same time causing him fear. Developer really this girl. If she was also a brilliant mechanic, then he should look after her more carefully, at least, fell into the hands of a gang of Twilight Dragons. They dragged all the cans into the car. They found all the medicines and equipment. The doctor will be more likely to cure the girl. Yi Ben noticed a huge mutant on the roof. He yelled at them and told them not to be stupid and quickly get into the car. The beast rushed at them. But the guy fought back with a laser from his hand. He ordered to take the doctor to the shelter, and he himself remained to deal with the monster. This huge dog wandered around the hospital at a short distance for several days, which scared the zombies away a little. The girl noticed that they have such advanced equipment that it will become a problem in our country. She correctly asked the fat man. From the Doomsday Team, humanity's last hope. Since they are not still alive even after the zombie virus that spread around the world did not touch them, you can consider them the chosen ones. Another monster that shouldn't be around at this time, Yi Ben thought. A superstar is not at all thinking of me or a wild animal as a result of being infected with a zombie virus. It was bred with the power of advanced genetic engineering and merged with a zombie virus. A product not of this time. The monsters fired a beam of energy. The guy seems to understand what's going on. This monster is able to repel the best and attacks. The guy pulled out the monster's weak spot. And without him, this trick won't work anymore and he won't be able to repel it like that. In this case, he will hit him on the head, breaking his head. He took out a large energy pearl. Transformed black gold, imposted superbeast animal heart. Having this, the subsequent work will go easier. A stranger was watching him from the roof. I thought that the guy would not be a serious hindrance.